Okay. So now if you can see this screen, this is containing the external features of the human eye. And you can see the eye is shown here. When we see the eye from the front, we mainly see the white portion of the eye, and we see the circled portion that is there inside. And inside that brown circle portion, there is another portion that is circle, that is the black colored portion, which you can see here. This is the black color portion. So now we will go and follow this video where we will see that where this eye is located, which part of your skull the eye is located. Okay. So if you see this one, this is the part, you can see the skull here, and in this skull, this is the part of the skull, and this in this skull only there is a hole which we call as an orbit, the eye orbit, where mainly the eyeball is fixed. You can see this blue colored ball, which is completely very much clear here. It is the side portion of this blue colored ball. You can see this is the eye, which is placed inside the eye orbit. Am I clear? And this eye is there in our body, which is giving us the sensation of vision. This eye is a sense organ which gives us the sensation for vision. Now you can see the external features here, which includes the eyebrow, and you know where are the eyebrows present, eyelids are there, and eyelashes are there. So all these three things are external features, and these three things are mainly the protective part. If you are not very wrong, I think so you know all this as a protective part. Eyebrow is having the hairs which is making, or which is preventing the we can say the percolation of the sweat which is coming from our forehead area, and it can enter the eye. So instead of that, that sweat is coming and it is getting stuck by this eyebrow. So eyebrow is not letting the sweat or the raindrops to enter your eye directly. Now the function of the eyelid is almost the same thing, that is protection. So if the eyelid is there, we know that eyelid is protecting the eyes from any kind of dust particles entering our eye, and obviously the eyelashes are also there, which is there for protection. So these are the three parts which we can see: the eyelids, eyebrows, and the eye lashes. They are for the protection. They prevent the falling of the larger particles inside your eyes. And here again we have a kind of a gland inside the eye, that is not inside the eye. They are located in the upper sideward portion of the orbit. Upper side portion of your orbit, it is present in both the side of your eye. They are known as the tear glands, and these tear glands are also known as the lacrimal glands, which will shed the tears and which will create a secretion which we call as a tear, and that will come over the eyeball, that is having an enzyme which is known as lysozyme, and this is washing away all the dust particles also. It is also preventing the eyes from the any kind of germ attack. So let us go through this. Now we will see this eye is actually covered up with this eyelid, eyelashes are there, and if we are enlarging this eye, we can see this eyeball specifically. And here you see this, I will just stop it. What I was telling, this is the front portion of the eye which you can see. And here you have a lacrimal canal. Can see over here the lacrimal canal. Here only right side, that is
Yes,
this is the
ma'am.
tear gland. Tear gland is also known as the lacrimal gland. Tear gland is a common term, but lacrimal gland is the biological term. So this is known as a tear gland, where it secretes the tear, or we can say that it is secreting a kind of a liquid which is having an antiseptic property, and it is having the enzyme named as lysozyme. It is having the enzyme named as lysozyme. If any problem is not, I will try to write it down. That tear gland is secreting lysozyme. You can also write and take a note, but it is already there. If you have the book with you all, you can just follow that. This lysozyme is an enzyme which is there in this tear gland, and this enzyme, when it comes out, it is very much, we can say, functionable. And you can see over here the lacrimal canal or the tear duct. This tear duct is nothing but, here what we can see is, it is the tear can flow from here, and sometimes when you cry, from the nose also the water comes out. Hopefully all of you have experienced that one. From the nose also, because this one is having a gland duct, and through the duct what happens, the tear is coming out and it is going to the nose, it is connected. And because of that, sometimes what happens when we cry, when the tear comes out from our eyes, from the nose also it comes out, because that duct is a common duct. Okay, so these ducts actually drains off the liquid, right? And it is lying at the inner angle of the eye. This is what we call as a nasolacrimal duct. We can see this duct in this picture. This is known as a nasolacrimal duct, and this conducts into the secretion into the nasal cavity. Because of that, it is known as a nasolacrimal duct. And we, all of us, experience that when medicine is dropped in the eyes, sometimes it comes inside the nose also, and even it goes to the throat also, because the nose is connected again with the throat. So these are actually the we can say the duct which is leading to the this tear, we can say the liquid to this duct. Another thing I will tell you, this lysozyme has many functions, or maybe the tear is having many functions. First of all, when the tear comes out, it is making the lubrication over here over the eyes. In front of the eye, which you can see, this is the cornea. Actually the cornea is the white portion of the eye. You can see the pupil, which is the black portion, practically totally black it is. And the iris is the side muscles. Iris is the colored portion of your eye. So this we will do it. The colored part of the eye is iris, white portion of the eye is cornea, and pupil is the totally the black portion. And this part, the cornea part mainly, they are moistened by this tear. So the tear drop will come out, and as the tear drops comes out, as the tear drop will come out, it will totally moisten the cornea part. Okay, and this is creating a lubricant even. So when the eyelid is covered, we are closing our eyes, it is very easier for us to even open. So that is the lubrication which is created every time your eye portion is totally moistened with this tear gland, or the tear gland secretion, you can say. It keeps the eyes clean. So the tear, when it comes out, every time what happens is, when it is not only in an emotional condition, when there is an irritation there in the eye, or any dust particles enters inside our eye, that time also the liquid starts flowing, isn't it? So that liquid which is flowing, that is washing away this part every time. So if any time a kind of a eyelash also enters, you will feel that the water comes out, and that water, it washes out these eyelashes. Okay, it washes out any kind of dust particles, small particles which enters in our eye every time our eyes are exposed to lots of dust and lots of germs. At the same time, these germs also enters to your eye, and that is killed by this enzyme which is known as lysozyme. This enzyme helps in killing the germs which can enter in your eye anytime, any moment. So this is all what we can see in case of the front portion of the eye, but which you cannot see here. There is another layer which is there in front of our eye. Always remember, there is another layer in front of this cornea, and that layer is named as conjunctiva. So I am writing over here the conjunctiva, CONJUNTIVA. This conjunctiva is a layer which is present in front of the cornea, and that is mainly covering. This is a very transparent layer, we can say. Because of that, the light can enter. You will not be able to see also, you will not be able to understand that conjunctiva is there. But this conjunctiva is there, is a very very thin membrane. It is covering the entire front portion of your eye, and it is continuing with the inner lining of your eyelid. Okay, And this is a transparent epithelium cells. Conjunctiva is made of epithelium cells. Sometimes a question comes that to name the cells which are present in the conjunctiva. So you will write epithelium cells. In some case, what happens? The outermost layer of this eye, that is the conjunctiva, it is infected by certain viral infection, and that is making our eyes to turn red, which we call as a red eye. It is very common, and the common terminology which we use over here is red eye, but the biological term for this is conjunctivitis. It is conjunctivitis. That means when this particular layer, that is the conjunctiva, this conjunctiva is, we can say it is attacked by certain viral infection, then it is turning red, and it is known as conjunctivitis. And obviously any kind of medicine or the tear or the eye drop can clear it out. It takes time, it can clear it out. So since it is a viral infection which is a communicable, because of that we say that you must not touch your eyes at that time, and touch the other one's belongings. Okay, so it can spread from one person to another person through the touch. If anyone sees directly to the red eye of the friend or anyone, it will not get through. But the virus can come to the other sick person in any other way also. So hopefully this is clear to all of you, and you all are following the parts. And please remember that what are we doing now? I will continue. Okay. So now we can see this eye, and then we will move on to the inner portion of this eye. Okay. If you see, this is the closed portion, and then I will move on to this particular part. What you can see here, this one is the pupil, and you can see how it is getting separated. You can see that we have divided the eye, and we have shown here the 3D dimensional video which is shown here, that is taking the other part, and the eyeball is divided, and you can see the inner portion of this eyeball. This inner portion of the eyeball is containing three layers. You can see the pink layer, then the blue layer, and the yellow layer. So here all these three layers are having different names, and if I tell you the name, please take a note. The three names here: the first layer, it is very tough layer. The first layer is a tougher layer, which is known as a scleroid layer. This is known as a sclerotic layer, or in some books it is written scleroid. And in this case, it is made of tough and fibrous because it is the outer layer, so obviously it is protective in function to some extent. Okay, and this is mainly continued in the front portion as the white portion, which you have seen in the previous picture as the cornea. Okay, that is white in color. So it is outside part is the white color which is coming in front as a white portion, which we call as a cornea, the sclerotic layer. Okay, and it is bulging out in the front. You can see there is a certain bulge. You can see it is bulging out, and it becomes transparent. This particular portion is transparent so that the light can enter very easily. And sometimes the cornea becomes opaque in some patients and becomes non-functional. So in some cases, what happens, in such cases the cornea can be replaced from the healthy cornea, and if anyone is donating, mainly the cornea is donated and the cornea can be replaced. If anyone is having a problem in the cornea, when we donate the eye, the good eye or the good conditions eyes cornea is taken, and it is grafted, and it makes a blind person also to see if the cornea is a defective one. And this cornea can be alive nearly for 40 hours after the death of a person. So if the eye is donated, if sometimes you will see most of the people nowadays they are donating their eye, that means as the person will die, the cornea will be removed. Okay, and after the cornea is removed, and after the death, it is stored in the eye bank. at a very low temperature so that there is no defectivity arises in the cornea. Okay, in the suitable plasma, we can say the media, in the liquid medium, and then it is done. It is grafted in the eye, which is with the patient who cannot see. Okay, so the blue portion, which is the second layer, the second layer is the choroid layer. Choroid is the middle layer, that is choroid, choroid layer, which is somewhat, it is supplied with the blood vessels. Understood? It is supplied with the blood vessels, and it is having the blood vessel means blood is flowing through it, and so it will give the nourishment to your eyes. And it is having a dark pigment. This is very important to know, that it is having a dark pigment known as melanin, and that is making the black color of the eye at the back. So I will continue with this video. You can see this video over here. So here I will be stopping where you can see the labeling exactly. All of you can see this labeling. So here, what can we say? This is the choroid layer. Let us talk about the sclera. So when I am making this sclera, you can see this sclera is the particular part, that is the scleroid, which we have seen. Okay, choroid layer. Now you come to this choroid layer. The choroid layer over here is the second layer. You can see the choroid layer is the second layer, and in this case the choroid layer is having the melanin. If you can point out yourself, the choroid is having the melanin. And then is the, what is there, retina. If you can see the retina, this is the yellow portion, that is the retina here. And this retina is having lots of, we can say, the sensory organs.